Hey, Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh, and it's Wednesday, January 17th, and I wanted to show you my trades today that I posted in the group. And let's see here if we can pull up the group here. So right here are my three trades today, 77 pips total, using the Tokyo and London cross method. Okay, you can see here GBP JPY was a buy, picked up looks like about 35 pips on that one. USD JPY was a sell. I just got 5 pips on that, and I'll show you why. USD CHF was a sell also, and I picked up about 37 pips on that one. So let's look at the GBP JPY one first here. And again, we're looking at this box here. We call this the Asian box. Even though it starts here at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the start of the day, and it ends about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And although the Tokyo session doesn't start until 8:30 p.m., we call this the Asian box. So what we were looking here in GJ, we first have to determine what the direction or the trend is of this particular currency before we can decide which way we want to take trades. So the best way to do that is look at the 1-hour chart. So if we switch to the 1-hour chart here, we see that prior to today, which would be prior to this, that the market can either move up, down, or sideways. This market here is definitely moving sideways, right? So the last couple days it's been moving sideways in this range right here, and we call this chopping, or sometimes we call it resetting, because after it does this, it will then decide whether to make another move up or make a move down, depending on which way it was going before. Doesn't matter. It's going to reset and decide to go up or decide to go down. You have to wait for that to happen. But while it's in this area and chopping, you can trade either way. You just have to make sure you're at the bottom if you're going to go long, and you're at the top if you're going to go short, and you have to adjust your profit target because it's only going to move so much in this scenario. So when we go back to the 15-minute chart, what I seen a move come down into the Asian box here, right, and go lower. And then I seen a couple pins here down close to what we call the blueberry pie, this blue line here, which is the 800-day moving average. So I kind of suspected that that would probably be the low of the day. And as you can see here, I was right. I was right in that assumption there. So now what I'm looking for is, I don't want to just take the trade right there. I want to wait for this yellow line, which we call the mustard, to cross over the red line, which we call the ketchup, up, because I'm going to take this trade long. So right here, we get that cross. And I got in, I believe, on this candle right here, if I'm not mistaken. And this moved up. Right? We got a pretty good move up. And what happened was, when I seen this hammer right here, after these 4 candles up and this hammer right here, I decided to get out. Now, as you can see, I got out prematurely because it did move a little bit higher during the Asian session. It corrected, and then it moved up to here. But then after that, it kind of just trended, not trended, but went straight across until it made this big move late in the day, which we wouldn't know about at this point. So again, that was my trade in UJ. So I got in and out of that pretty quickly. I was only in there for maybe less than 2 hours, and I got out with the 35 pips. And then I believe the next trade I took was UJ. So now when I look at UJ here, this one, when we look at the 1-hour chart, again, prior to yesterday, which starts right here, this was in a clear downtrend. So I'm looking for it to make a false move up so that I can then take it down on a cross, on a Tokyo cross, or in this case, it ends up being a London cross. So you see, this moves up pretty good here. It makes pretty good 3 pushes up here to the top. And then you get this pin to the top, which kind of tells you that that could be the high of the day. It doesn't end up being the high of the day though. So now right here you get a cross. So I get into the trade somewhere in this area here. Now with this one though, look what happens. It goes up, right? Right, you get the cross, it goes up a little bit, you get a catch-up collapse. That's when you're going long, and then you get a red candle down through the catch-up closing below the line. Okay, then it crosses again down, right, and then you see some little railroad tracks. It moves back up. You get a catch-up collapse on the way up, and then it goes crosses again, back up, back down. So at this point here, I knew that this was just going to stay in this range here. And then after that, I had no idea when or which way it was going to go. So what I did was I knew it would come back down here. So I set a take profit at 5 pips. And when it made this move back down from the top, I got out with 5 pips. Now after that, it makes this giant move up. But again, that's a 50-50 trade. Now I had this short, so if I would have stayed in, I would have got stopped out with a, whatever my stop was, a 30 or 35 pip loss. So I avoided that by taking the 5 pip gain. Okay, and then the third trade was with USD CHF. This was probably the best trade of the day here. Again, when you look on the hourly chart prior to yesterday, you see a strong downtrend, clearly in a downtrend. So we're looking for a false move up and then a cross to take it down. So as you see here, this just moves straight up all throughout the Asian session into the London session here. And then it comes all the way up here. You see a bunch of pins on the 200-day right here. Okay. And when you see these pins, that tells you that there's a good probability that's going to be the high of the day. So what happened was, came down here and we got a catch-up mustard cross. So I took this position on this candle right here, I believe. Let me check that to make sure. It was 1217. So I think I took it on this candle right here. Okay, so now when I take this trade, I'm going to set a stop 13 pips above this high. So my stop's going to be roughly, right in this area right here. Now what happens is it turns around and it goes higher. Okay, but because my stop's placed in the right place, I don't get stopped out. Okay, then we get another cross, and then it comes down. I take it all the way down here. I take this candle all the way down. Then when I see this candle open and start to move up, I get out. Now, I should have known that it was going to create this pin scenario here, just like it did over here. Same exact thing. It pushes down further, and then it pulls back, and then that starts the reversal. See how it did it here? It did it right here as well. So at this point, after I got out of my short, I could have taken a long position and rode this all the way back up. I didn't do that then. So I have my 3 trades. They were all winners with the Tokyo and London cross. So Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh. Until next time, let's make it a great day trading Forex.